Oh, we're live. Ode up. And make sure so you guys can talk. Oh yeah. And then send out the word. Wait, did I switch? Nope. I did not change my banner in the background. Hold on. You know what? That works. Please all come in and settle in. We are going to be starting in a couple minutes. Also, while you're at it, if you're going to stick around for a while, please set up some music, because I will not be playing any here. I would love to play music, but I am fear of copyright. That's not what I want. Okay. All right. Here I am. Watch me draw my OC as a Splatoon character for the first time. Twitch, livestream, blue draws, Splatoon. OC, live drawing. And don't forget the red dot. How else will they know I'm live? Yeah, I wanted to start this a little bit earlier, but I couldn't really help it. I had a lot of things to get done this morning, and I woke up late. Yeah. I feel like the blue draws aren't really as popular as like the other live streams I do, but I still enjoy doing them just because I love doing live drawing and live streaming my drawing process sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I learn more things by doing it live too. And hopefully we can actually get this one done today, because it's going to be a drawing project that's not going to be as big as the last couple I've done. I mean, I was able to get the Danny thing done pretty quickly. I did that in one night, so hopefully we can get this one done on stream. Hey, Benzie. Let's see. Apparently, Live Translator Con thinks that you're someone else. They're trying their best. Okay. I think I'm ready to get started here, though. Yeah, feel free to put on some Splatoon music. I thought about doing the same myself, but there's not really a good way to stream Nintendo music from the Nintendo app because it's only on the phone. It's very sad. It's a failure. Get rid of it. he's he's no longer he's outlived his purpose. All right, let's get into it. Hello everyone. Oh yeah, I forgot to turn on the lights. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Suddenly now you can see me a lot better. Welcome to the live stream. So today we're going to be drawing Zooka as a Splatoon OC. One of my first times actually making Splatoon fan art, so I'm kind of curious to see how well it goes. Um, I have a couple references to work off of, so I can kind of try to capture the style as much as I can, but it is still going to be Splatoon in my style. So I'm not going to try to rely too heavily on the references, but I'm mostly going to be looking at them to just to get like uh, proportions and face shaping and everything like that, and just see how well I can replicate it in my own way. So it'll be a fun little experience and a little test to see how well, because I've always wanted to do Splatoon fan art, and why not start with one of my OCs who is also in the game. Also, I'm surprised that you are making Zooka into an Octoling instead of Inkling. Yeah, I originally was thinking of an Inkling when I was first doing it, but how I have it in Splatoon 3, like my Zooka character in that game, I have her as an Octoling set because mostly because I like the ponytail options for her better in that one. It actually fit her hairstyle more. And I was kind of just comparing Inkling, Octoling hairstyles, and the Octolings always have a little bit more like volume with their hair, which is kind of what I need for Zuka. And I kind of feel like she just kind of fits the vibe a little bit more. So we're gonna just keep working with the Octoling hairstyle. It's gonna be heavily inspired by the one in the game, but I'm still going to make it reflect to the what I currently have. So here is what we got here. So I have some screenshots pulled up from some of the last live streams I did, and we're gonna kind of basically work from here. It's basically going to be the same body shape and everything like that. Um, I'm also gonna include the little canister on her back, but she is still gonna have her signature thing, her little bazooka. I have her original reference sheet here, which from I remember, the hairstyle is still wrong on that, so pay no mind to that. But we will fix it in this one. But yeah, I basically kind of prepped everything in advance because I wanted to make sure I could spend as much as the live stream drawing her instead of compiling references. So yeah, let's see how well this goes. I was thinking maybe at least for first. Hold on, where's my drawing? Okay. I was thinking for the first part, I was gonna try to nail down what pose I want her to be in. I was thinking kind of along the lines of like, let's see, pull back. I was thinking of a dynamic pose for her like this, and then, oops, actually no, that's fine. Um, I'm trying to think though how she'd be holding it because technically, again, she's right-handed like I am, so usually the bazooka would be like this on her. So if she's facing towards the camera, yes, you'd want yeah, her right hand to be here, which is now where it is. Okay. I know, wait, her left can go around there, and oh, I see. Okay, it would just kind of have to be like a thing where her back is kind of facing, which I think is fine, because I'm thinking this is kind of like her left arm. It goes over here. Her right one. Oh, that looks weird. That probably does look weird. Actually, it's probably because it's she's not at a sideways angle. That's why I'm thinking. So that way, there we go. Holding it like that. The bazooka is like that big on her. I think that's kind of canonical actually to its size, right? Maybe a little bit less. Maybe it's kind of more like that, yeah. But I do need to think about the fact that the trigger's right here. So the trigger's here. And then, yeah, something like that, something like that. Just kind of remember which side is what. This is, yeah, left, this is right. And this is her, like, back kind of facing it. I like that pose, actually. And then again, this would be her left leg. This would be her right leg. Um, her face would kind of be pointing a little bit towards the camera. And then I have her kind of flash a wink. I'm always not sure when I do winking faces which side the eye should be closed toward. Like if I was to do it toward you, I think I don't know. I'm trying to think of which eye should be. I think the eye opening should be facing towards the viewer. But I don't know. It's always a weird part that I've always thought of. Because either that or it's like that, you know? I think it makes more sense if it's like that. And she'll have that kind of expression on her. Yep, and then she'll have her hat, which will... Actually, I kind of like the downward look, so have it like that. Her ponytail will be here. I'm not going to have it go into the bazooka because it's a Splatoon reference more than it is a actual reference of her. So, but I am going to have it go about as long as it was, which was basically like, yeah, all the way down to her backside. So something like that I'm thinking is for the pose. And then yeah, then you'll see on here 5 and then 1. I was wondering if I should try to use. Actually, I don't know. That's a good question. Now I think about it, I was wondering if I should try to outfit her the weapon that she uses into one of the ones that you actually use in Splatoon. Because technically, I think the one weapon that she uses in Splatoon that's a lot like her Ink Zooka. There's actually two I thought about. It's either the Zooka or it's the range blaster. But I think the Zooka is actually probably the better option. The main thing is I would just have to look up how that looks. I think that would be a better reference because again, this is based off of Splatoon, not off of my character specifically. And I would feel about introducing a new weapon into the mix when it's not technically supposed to be there. So give me a second as I kind of look things up here. Let me also make sure none of these are going to be like, whoops, that needs to be seen. I want to make sure none of the elements I'm about to show are going to show. Okay. Ooh, look at those Doritos. I'm not sure why I'm getting so many Doritos, but thank you. Hold on. Try Zooka. Splatoon 3. This thing's freaking big, dude. Trying to find a good picture of it. Since I was able to give you when you played Gas Station Simulator last night. Oh, that's what they're for. Okay. I mean, I'll collect them now. That's fine. I am always up for collecting Doritos. Alright, Splatoon. What's it called? Try Zooka. Oh, why are you so small? You're so small. At least a reference. Let me see if I can find a better one. Because it's kind of the same angle that she's holding it at, too. I think this one actually might be better. Whoops. I didn't mean to open you up. Yeah, this one's basically just a higher detailed render of the same thing. I think we can kind of get some things from that. Dorito. Okay. The one thing I could at least see Zuka doing is putting her own color and paint job on her Dryzuka. So I think I'm going to use the weapon for sure as a base, but I'm still going to give it the Zuka colors, you know? So let's go ahead and put that into fruition. Whoop. Sketch Tryzuka. Wow, wow. Okay. I see how it kind of works. Yeah, because so instead of the angle that she's kind of holding it at, you kind of have to hold it over your shoulder. Yeah, yeah, because that's what it is. Because like there's a big part of it right there. Hold on, let me zoom in a little bit just to kind of get a better look at it. Yeah, there's like a big part here that like goes over the shoulder. Actually, it looks like it's really big. I'm not exactly sure where all the parts of it are because a lot of her hair is is going behind it. But it looks like it's definitely like a thing where it's like there's a body part here. There's a canister that goes like right there. And then there's the 3 gauges right there. You have the main handle here. You have the side handle where the other hand thing goes. You have another circular part that goes into this cylinder. And then the main place it fires out from. The translator didn't even bother translating Dorito. Ban it! It is banned. The more I use this live translator tool, the more Pansy hates it. Okay, so actually, so her shoulder would be like right here. So let's see. And it looks like again, there's like another thing here. There's a cylindrical part here. I'm assuming this little thing, the little pipe up top, kind of comes down to back to where this stuff is. Again, a lot of this is going to be behind her, so not a lot of it's going to be very important, but I at least want to get it thought of and put there, so it is there. And then again, yeah, here's the main trigger. And then right up at this place, there's a side holster. So instead of her arms going the way I originally had them, it's going to be, yeah, like the one goes here. And again, it kind of goes up and over actually right here. There you go. Okay, so that's kind of the way you're supposed to do it instead. Doing the posing for that's going to be interesting because I'm not entirely sure how to make it good. But I think you basically kind of got the concept of it right there. I'm gonna need to play around with the body and like the proportions of it, but I think we got it. I think as long as I kind of use this, because I'm kind of, especially because of how the posing is with it, I'm largely just using this pose here as the reference. So that'll work. Okay. And we'll save this. Okay. But yeah, I think we got a basic good basic thing down for the sketch. Or at least like the most basic sketch. Like this is the most basic that is going to look. Um, I am going to now do the actual sketch for her body. So let's do sketch Zooka. Let's fade her out a little bit more so we can get some more detail on this. Also, by the way, my plan for this drawing specifically, at least, is I'm going to do, I'm going to do this main pose of her, in this pose and everything with a Zooka and everything. I'm going to do the full drawing of that and get it colored, and then I'll post just that, maybe with a background as like the main drawing I do, or at least I'll pose like I'll just get the main thing done. I'll save a picture for it, and then if I have a little bit of time after it's done, then I'll start making the background and see if I can make something cool for that. Because I have some ideas for it, but I just have to see how well they can be implemented. Okay, so first, just because we don't want to focus on her, let's focus on her. Okay, so in terms of their proportions and everything, again, I'm seeing kind of like a thing where their main head shape is like, the circle. So you can't really see it because it's black, yeah. But their main head shape's like kind of like almost a circle, and then they kind of have the thing that goes down for the cheeks. So it's not too different from how I usually do it. The main thing that's different with these and the regular things is instead of here where the ears usually go like that, they actually protrude out a little bit. And other than that, I think the body shape is basically kind of how I draw it. Yeah, it's like a bean. Yeah, I can work with that. That's fine. So first, let me try to do. I'm gonna try the head first. There we go. Actually, yeah, just to get a rough estimate of how this is supposed to look. Yeah, a little bit longer, yeah. But yeah, how's everyone doing today, actually? Oh wait, no, that's right. It's right now how I have it drawn is kind of going to be a side look. So that's what it was. There you go. That looks better to me. Feel tired. How about you? I'm okay. Um, I could have got better sleep last night probably, but overall I'm not too bad about it. Okay, not looking too bad so far at least. Um, I'm doing it kind of rough at first, and then I'll uh, figure out a better look for it later. We're up all night getting the Doritos. Yeah, we did play that for quite actually a while. I was surprised at how long I decided to play that game for. I thought I was gonna get way more tired. Actually, maybe it should be about this point the same way. Yeah, it's kind of like a true side profile. So I was thinking the right one might point out a bit more toward that way, but it's probably gonna be about the same amount. That's fine. Get 100% on that game in no time. Yeah, we're kind of making a lot of good progress in Gas Station Simulator, to be fair. I am actually kind of looking forward to it as well, too. So, yeah. Okay, so far it's looking like it's pretty good. I'm going to actually zoom in a little bit more because I want to get the angle done on this Zooka a bit more. I'm trying to gauge if you would even see the... Yeah. I'm trying to gauge if you can even... If you would even be able to see her hand back there. It's fine. Trying to remember how I did this again. X. That's right. That just doesn't do a new thing. There we go. Okay. I'm just trying to make it so it doesn't look too awkward with her holding the Zooka, because again, I'm kind of mostly going off of this reference for it. Though to be fair, I think this reference kind of has her arm actually a little bit more back here, and it's angled down, and then it kind of goes up. And yeah, her hand kind of goes over it like that. About 90 of the achievements are behind paid DLC, but it's worth getting it. Yeah, we might not be able to get it 100%, but we can at least get as far as we can into it. Look, the way I see it, if I didn't get the DLC for it, then it's technically not part of the completion. If I did not pay for the content, then it does not need to show up. And again, because of the angle of it, yeah, even in this shot, you don't really see her other arm. Well, you do see the hand here. Which, yeah, again, from the angle of how this is portrayed, I think, actually, now I'm looking at it more, I think it just needs to get. I think just making it, yeah, just that little bit bigger is going to help it a ton. I think her body's a little bit too big so far, but we can fix that. I like the angle of the back. I think, yeah, it's just the front part that needs to go down a bit more. There we go. Yeah, I feel way better about that actually now. I actually really like this pose. I think this is a really good pose. I also recommend wishlisting the Tidal Wave DLC. It's basically an additional game within the game. Okay. It'd be better to get it when it's on sale. That makes sense. I'll probably look into it. I'll just need to do it in my own time. And this is her gripping it like that, so yeah, we can kind of fit the Zooka to match her length, the arm and everything like that for it. So that's all good. Okay, let's draw in her face at least. Face. So again, I'm trying to get the inkling features down pretty well. Because the faces are kind of interesting too, because they have the very unique like shape to their faces. And I remember too because she's an Octoling, her eyes are actually spaced out instead of having that little joined part between. So yeah, again, let me do a little bit of study right here. So yeah, the main thing about their face, it looks like it goes in proportion to the head. It goes basically right about halfway. And that aligns with the ears is where their mouth lies and then where their eyebrows lie. Okay. So translating to this, it would basically be about right about there is where her eyebrows would lie. right about here is where her mouth would be. And then the ears are just that big. And all the rest of this is just free real estate for her face. Okay. What does the nose look like? The eyes take up a lot of the space, and then her nose is just kind of like right there. Yeah, her nose is kind of just like whoop, right there. Kind of almost like a triangle shape too. I could probably do it by like doing something like that. Trying to think about how it would look on here. Even something just really small like that, I think would be a fine detail. And they go like they kind of actually align with the bottom of her eyes. So wherever the nose goes, that's kind of where her eyes lie down at. And again, the eyes is something I gotta really focus on too, because what they're kind of like the almond shape, so they kind of go all the way up and then they curve in all the way down, and they just kind of cover that whole space. And they also have the little spike right there, the spike there, and then right down there too. Okay. Anyway, this is. Well, I'll make the eye shape just so I know where it goes, but the actual thing is gonna be different. Actually, no, this one doesn't really matter too much. This is the main one that matters. It's the one that goes all the way out here. Which means, the other one would go right here. There you go. So that's the eye shape. And again, like the eyes themselves actually kind of almost fill the whole thing. Not entirely, but they almost do. I was also kind of like, down and then like that. Okay. But yeah, you have the white of the eyes, and then they're actually kind of up a little bit on her. Yeah, even in her other things, it's kind of up a little bit. So they kind of like rest up here. Or that's if she's looking straight ahead. Because she's looking towards the camera, where they normally would be right there, they would actually be like right here. And I think, yeah, they have like really big irises, right? It's actually like, it's like a third of the eye shape is actually how big their irises are, and then the pupils are right there. Okay. So maybe like, that looks right. And their eyebrows are kind of like little things here and then here. And they don't really go too far. Kind of like that. Yeah, they're actually perfectly like that. Yeah. And then the ear shape, just to make sure I got that right. Because it looks like I basically got the placement of the ear right. I just need to get, like, the actual things of it working right. Give it a second. It's still trying to save. They don't put a lot of detail in the ears. Yeah, it's kind of the shape, and then there's like an inner shape. So, kind of just, I think that's just basically what I'm going to do too. Yeah, because it looks like the ears go right here. And there's here. Don't know if I need to. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if I need to put that. I'm okay with it actually. But I don't know. I think we keep it off for now. Okay, that was part of the face. Okay. Erase the original outline I did. If there's anything that I've always liked about my art style is I always like how expressive I can make the faces. I think I actually kind of nailed down the Splatoon aesthetic with the facial expressions for sure. Um, and actually, now I think about it, because when you wink, usually their eyebrow goes down a little bit more. This eyebrow, I think, is actually going to be down here instead. I think that's a fine place for the other one, but that one I wanted to change at least. All right, now all I need to do is draw her hat and draw her ponytail, and then of course her clothing. But we're getting there, and the Trizuka. All right, Zooka hat. And actually, just so I don't have to go as far for it, I'm gonna move one of the references over. It was this one, right? Actually, because of the angle of her face, this one's probably the better one. Yeah, because that's kind of actually where her face is angled right now. The only thing again about this one is we kind of have to flip it to make it face the right orientation. So flippy. Oh, I'm flipping the hat layer, not the reference layer. Which one is it? This one? Okay, good. Where did you go? There you are. Yeah, so it looks like the hat outline kind of goes right up here. And yeah, it like lands right before the ears, which is usually how most hats go. Yeah, they kind of like rest right above the ear line. And then for the brim or the rest of it, it's going to be like, yeah, a little bit up here. And it'll fit formally around the rest of the head here. But yeah, it's got the part up top where it kind of winds out a little bit. And yeah, there's the center point. And the brim. Wow. Oh no, it needs to be way bigger than that. I think the rest of the back part of the hat is fine, but this part of the hat needs to be bigger. And the brim needs to be a lot longer. Actually, again, this is the thing again with references. I'm relying a little bit too heavily on the reference because the brim would actually be at this high of an angle from where she's looking. It would actually be a little bit lower. So it'd probably be actually right about down here. Now I think actually this is a little bit too big. Okay, I like that angle of the hat actually. I think all I want to do to make it a little bit better is and just make it a little bit bigger all around. Yeah. And actually, I think if we rotate a little bit down more. Whoops. There you go. I think that looks good. Yep. All right. I like that. I'm liking how this is looking. Now we just need to get the ponytail and her hair down. Zooka hair. Yo. There you go. Yep. There, and there. Perfect. And this is going to be the weird part again, too, because I'm definitely basing it off of the Splatoon hairstyle, but it's still based off of my original OC. So I have to kind of keep that in mind. Basically, the ends of it are kind of just going to be more like octo-y and looking. I think we're definitely going to add like the thing here that kind of spills down. Have a little octo suction near there. And actually, I want it to be kind of a little bit more in line like how the original style looks, where it's, yeah, it goes down over. There we go. And then the sides are still going to be, yeah, they're going to be pulled back still. Okay. And then the back part is where it gets fun. Because you got this big ponytail in the back. And then it goes all the way down. And it kind of starts protruding from here. So first let me get the original kind of shape of what I want it to look like back there. And I want it to go all the way down here. And I'm gonna do it how I have like I've seen most of them done, where you kind of see how it has like the underside of the squid tentacle, and then the over part where the suction cups that come out of. That's kind of basically what I'm trying to do too with it. So how I see it is it's like angling here, and it goes down that way, you know. So I think it's gonna be like, Yeah, I think that's gonna be kind of how it looks. Actually, I kind of want a little bit more of the side to come out a bit more. So I'm gonna angle it down like this. And yeah, with that, I don't think I need this little part here at least. So we can get rid of that. There you go. Yeah, I think I like that. And then we'll have one of the little suction cups up here, one down here. Because they kind of usually go, especially with long hair, they kind of like go all the way down. Actually, yeah, this one needs to be pushed up a little bit more. Actually, no, I'm okay with it being right there. I finally beat Vector in a stupid musical note minigame. Oh yeah. Oh, you mean for Sonic Generations? I know that was the whole thing. Yeah, no, I feel that for sure. I know that that one is definitely a little bit challenging. Okay, so I got her hair down. I think I'm feeling pretty good about it too. The only thing actually I want to check on real quickly is hold on. Just gonna do a little bit more research in the background. Because I want to make sure I'm portraying Zooka correctly. 'Cause I know I did. I would say I know I did something with her hair that was different from the reference. Yeah, I had like this stripe part that goes down actually now. Because that's what I did for her cat design. Yeah, and I did that for her Christmas outfit too. Actually, I think she's kind of like that on my thing too, isn't she? No, she always had. Maybe I'm just gaslighting my own self. You know, it's just gaslighting myself into thinking that she had a different design. You know, it's always been tied back. Maybe I just did the other. Maybe I just did the other drawings wrong. You know, she always looked like that. Is she had the thing that kind of going down? I think the only thing actually I want to do with it that's a little maybe a little bit different is put just down a little bit more because it was about like halfway down where her hairline was. Then again, I don't know. I think it's fine like that. I think it's fine. Okay. And now we're gonna do her clothing because what else is an inkling if not having fashionable clothing? Again, I'm gonna, I'm not, she's not gonna have, the collar and everything with this one, but I am gonna inspire a lot of how it fits on her from this outfit. And in this case, we got, because it's a side angle, here's where the shirt goes up to. And she doesn't have shorts on, but I can kind of heavily inspire it from the other ones. Actually, I have another reference here. This is basically the same kind of shorts as she would have. Yeah, they go about that high up there anyway, so yeah. It should be fair again. Most of the shorts in these games, they usually do have that like line across the side, and I kind of dig it. So I'm gonna actually implement that into here. But I don't think it's on the inside. It's only the stripe on the outside. Does she actually? Yeah. Oh yeah, and then the sleeve, yeah, goes like probably about that far up. And of course her shiz, which I think I am gonna kind of base them off of these ones a little bit. Or then again, I don't know. I might be able to actually find another pair because these ones are actually pretty wildly different. Because her regular shoes, they look like these. Be fair, they kind of actually look almost more like these ones here. Actually, to be fair, I actually really like this pose for the shoes. And I kind of like the model on them too. I should be using this model for my pose actually on this one. Which of course that means again the main thing about that is that these clothes are actually different. Uh, yeah, because these ones actually ride a little bit lower. Okay, but I think those are the kind of sneakers I was imagining her with. But at the same time, I kind of really like these ones too. I think I just got to make the top part come down a little bit, the lip a little bit more prominent. Yeah. I don't know exact. Again, I'm still trying to match them to an in-game shoe brand because I want them to kind of match with the rest of it. This is kind of the closest one I can see too, so I'm okay with it. Okay, yeah, we're gonna stick with it. Now I just gotta do the same thing with the other one. Uh, although, again, like I said before, though, I like the posing of this model at least. Where I like how, especially when you look at it from the back here, it's she has the bent knee again, like how she has it in this one, but the other one's bent down a little bit more, and then she has like her foot a little bit off the ground, like the back of her heel is a little bit off the ground, and I kind of like that. I think I'm gonna say that the main thing is I have to kind of change the pose here a little bit to reflect it. Hmm. Yeah, I think we can make it work. It might look a little awkward at first, but I think I can make it work. Yep, it definitely needs to go in a little bit more. Yeah, how they make it look good on that one? It's like the front parts where it goes down. It kind of bends in more. I think it's actually almost there. I think I just need to kind of like push it in a bit more. Yeah, that's what it is. That the angle just feels too hard, so I have to kind of. I don't know. I feel like I'm wasting too much time on it. To be fair, I think I make it work though. I think it's getting good. Actually, I think that looks pretty good. I think we just need to angle it down a bit more. I think we're good. Okay. Okay, I think that about covers that. Let me just look it overall, make sure I got it in a space I like it. Yeah, this is good. Only thing I want to change is I want to give her a little bit of a bigger butt. Oh. Yeah, this is looking good actually. I like this a lot actually. I actually think the heel lift off of the ground I think actually helped it a lot more. Yeah, now okay, now we need to do the Zooka. I have no idea how we're gonna actually do this, but we're gonna find out. I'm also gonna erase a little bit of the reference so I can focus in on certain parts I want. Put you right there, I think we'll be fine. Yeah, I don't like the initial angle I'm putting it at, so let me try fixing it a little bit. There you go. Yeah, because it looks like she's kind of supposed to be holding it at that angle anyways, so that makes more sense. Just because I want this little part I'm about to draw here to match up with the hole it's going to come out of. To be fair, because that's where the decals usually go, I think that's actually where I'm going to put the 51. How does it look again? It's, yeah. Okay. Oh, I'm just like, I was looking at this little part here. I'm just like, what the heck is even that even for? I'm like, oh, I think that's like a aiming reticle. Yeah, because I can see it. There's a lot of individual parts on this thing too, where I'm just like, what does this even do, and how does it work? What function does it serve? This thing is very complicated. I think I'm doing it justice though. Let me actually make this reference a bit bigger so I can kind of get a whoops, a better look at it. Actually, to be fair, how it's pointed, it just looks like it is supposed to be farther, but I think it's fine. Actually, you know what? From how I'm seeing it, especially again because I see this little part here, that's like another reticle. It's definitely supposed to be way farther out. So I might have to re-angle her arm to make it fit, but it definitely feels like that's where that's supposed to be. Hold on. Let me. Because again, it's supposed to be kind of. You're supposed to have a decent amount of space there, so it's supposed to be actually kind of like right about here. I think actually is where it's supposed to be. Yeah, so I have to stretch her hand back out so it fits that space. I think I don't know. I think I just have to yeah, I just have to redraw it. I'll figure that out in a second. It should be fine. Hey, yeah, still streaming.
Draw.
I am drawing.
She looks like she's gonna shoot something.
Yeah, kind of the point. Actually, you know, it looks like it's supposed to go up higher. Again, that's depending on that angle. It's going to be actually a little bit further.
Fun, fun.
Yep, yep.
I
Hmm.
might start. Your mom's leaving at 4. I might start cooking dinner sometime between 4 and 4:30.
Okay,
Might be done early,
okay,
but you can have it whenever you want.
okay. I'll see how far I get in this, and we'll see about that. Ending the stream early. I don't know. I had to see what's going on for dinner, but I don't think we will be at least. Um, I just had to figure out how long this is gonna take because we actually haven't made that much. We've actually made a lot less progress than I thought we were going to. I think because I got hung up on a lot of details about this drawing. I think we'll still be able to at least get the sketching done. I don't think that's gonna be an issue. Yeah, and then like right here will be where this thing comes out at. I think as long as I got a good basis on where this thing is gonna lay on her shoulders and look overall, I think we're good. Because again, a lot of it is gonna be hidden. So I don't need to worry too much about all of it. I'm gonna try to time it as much as I can toward dinner time because obviously I don't want to miss out on that, and I have other things I want to do this evening. But I'm gonna go as much as I need to, at least. And yeah, again, all I know about the back part is that there's just a huge freaking canister. So, how big is that gonna be? It's gonna be like, yeah, kind of like starting down here where her shoulders are at, and then up here. Oh, well, turns out because of the ponytail being the perfect distraction from it, I only need to draw that. Perfect, dude. The rest of it is implied. Which also though means I think I do actually still have to worry about the bottom part because that is going to be seen from this little thing here. Yeah, because yeah, basically now where this thing is, there is a little thing protruding down here. It goes down here, and then a trigger that goes about that far down. So yeah, again, I have to redo the arms a little bit, but I can do that here. Arms fix. Because this is where her hands would be here. There's going to be one thing here where the trigger is. And yeah, her thumb's going to be like, yeah, right there. That'll be good. That's a good angle for it. And then the other hand is going to outreach here. And again, it's gonna be a little bit elongated. So it's gonna go across here and then right up to where here is. So yeah, it is actually gonna be a little bit more outstretched than it originally was, which is all good though. Because that actually means I think I can actually put this in a little bit further where I was originally planning her to be. Okay. All right. Overall, especially with the Zooka and everything built on around it, God, that is a very strangely detailed weapon. But I think it's pretty good actually so far. Okay. But now we actually got in this part where it actually looks natural and good on her. Also, goddamn, that thing is big. That thing is big. Okay, but I like how everything else looks though. Yeah, this is going pretty good so far. I would, yeah, I think we actually have just enough time to do the the regular sketching for it at least, or like the outlines and stuff for it before we have to get into things later on. So let me at least try to see if I can get that done. We'll see about the coloring afterwards, but I think we can at least get line art figured out. But first, I need to use the bathroom. So give me a second. I'm gonna quickly. Actually, yes, just so people can see the art better, I'm going to quickly put down a thing on here. Boop. Burb. There we go. But yeah, I think this is coming out pretty good so far. So once I come back, I'm gonna take like only a few minutes out. We'll start getting into the line art. All right. I'll see you then. Everything on with me. Just in case you guys hear things in the background. All right. I am back. Thank you. All right. Yeah, they said that dinner should be done in like anywhere between a half hour to an hour from now. So I'm gonna see how much of this I can get done before I have to eat. So, like I said, I think we can at least get the line art done. I don't know about the color, but that has to be decided. Either way, I think we got some good progress going in on this. Okay, so, bu- Yeah, I'll just make line art for the base layer. I do want to fix a couple of things on here though before I get done with this. So let me first go through this. I think it's just if I move it, right? If I move it, they all go together. Nope. If I move it, they all go together. But I can't scale them all at the same time, right? No, it doesn't let me do that. Okay, that's interesting. And again, that's just only going to take away that part, so it does not help me. I wanted to scale the whole thing was the thing. The idea of it. I mean, to be fair, the scaling of it isn't too bad where it is, but I wonder if it's... Could I do if it was in a group? I'm experimenting. Because I know that they had like a linking feature in this one where you could link things together, and if you move it, everything moves with it that's linked. So I did that, but I haven't gotten it where it's doing that. Let me see if that works or not. Haha! Okay, so you do have to do it as a group. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, I just want to make it a little bit bigger. Alright, yeah, it looks pretty good. Now I think I got her to a good spot. And since I got all here, I can also do this with it too. I can make it all a little bit less so I can draw over it. Alright, so now to pick out how big the point is going to be on this. Yeah, let's do, how much is that? Let's do 20 point. That sounds like a great idea. Okay, so usually for drawings like these, I do 3 point. And I think that's the best call. Because even if I zoom in a little bit, yeah, it still leaves enough room for all this kind of stuff. And then I can still make details. All the details I usually would need on it. Yeah, 3 point seems like to be the way to go. So I'll do that. And again, what I've noticed about when I was doing line art now is it's a lot better for me to be. Whoops. Hold on. I am. Hold on. It's doing the thing again that I hate when it does. There we go. Okay. The main thing I noticed when I was doing line art is it always looks a lot better when I zoom in and then I draw like that because there is some differences with how smooth it comes out when I do it zoomed out versus when I do it zoomed in. The line work just kind of looks a lot more smoother if I do it this way. Especially with like the heather drawing, that was like a big turning point for me when I was doing line art because I started realizing because I was doing a lot of the details, the buildings like this far out or like like that when I should have been doing it like that, and you could see if after you zoomed in with the on the picture, it was just like, oh, it looks way different. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Actually, you know what? Remembering a strange detail about these things. Let me research a little bit more real quickly. Oh, did it freaking? God damn it! It's trying to. It's trying to load my other Wi-Fi. Yeah, but yeah, I remember there's a strange detail about when they open their mouths. They all have fangs, like very prominent fangs, and it's in a very interesting style because I noticed it when I was doing it before. Yeah, Here, I'll show you guys what I mean. So, with the Fang style, I noticed it was they have like one here, like at the very like front of their mouth, and they have one here. And you know what? Kind of dig it. I think that helps it look a way more like a Splatoon fan art with the fangs. Because I was originally assuming gonna just put it like the regular mouth shape how I do, but I'm like, no, they gotta have the fangs. It's kind of iconic. I'll put the eyes in a separate layer because they go in front of another thing, and I want to kind of make sure I can erase that right. Hold on. Hmm. I like the rest of it, but the limbs, how they elongate, feels strange to me. Like this whole part felt weird to me. Let me figure out a better angle for that. Yeah, I think that's what I gotta think of. Is I gotta think of where they join. It feels way better. I just need to fix the limbs where they connect. There we go. Something about that always just kind of made me think of weirdly. Fangs always make things 50% better. That's true. Fangs are like a really cool character trait, honestly. Although it makes me think, do octopuses and squids have fangs? Is that actually a thing, or is that just a stylistic choice from Splatoon here? No, I get it must be a stylistic choice then, because I'm just like I don't think that's I don't think that's a real to like real life. I'm sure there's some like lore reason they wrote down where like this is the reason why they have fangs or why the Inklings and Octolings have adopted fangs. Actually, no, maybe the only reason I could think of is maybe they were adapted to be um, carnivores as well. Because I don't know if regular squids or octopuses are carnivores, so to say. Because they are supposed to be, part of both types. So maybe they like adapted the features from both sides. The human side and the squid octoling side. I think it's good. Okay. Hold on. Sometimes I always think about that when I draw stuff like this, and I'm like, hold on, is the because it almost looks like her knee is a little bit lower than it should be. To be fair, in the pose here too, it is lower than it should be, but because it's angled down a bit more. But I feel like it should be not as much. I am unsure. I think it actually looks fine. I think I'm just trying to gas myself into thinking that it doesn't look right. It wasn't prepared to access my D drive. There you go. Actually, technically now, yeah, that's right. It's my F drive now because I put in a new D drive instead. Okay, yeah, the ink Zooka is going to be on its own layer, and so is the hair, just in case too. Okay, first let me get her face down because I really actually want to do this. Oh yeah, dude, she looks super cute. I might have to play around with this a little bit more, but actually, let me do that now. Fangs make everything cuter. I was more saying about the eyes, but yeah, no, it all is a good package altogether. To be fair, I also almost forgot about her suction cup. Um, And before I continue on with the suction cup, let me make sure. Okay, yeah. So it's like the white part, and then there's the ring around it that kind of sits on top. Otherwise, it looks like that. Yeah. Okay. Actually, I wonder if I need to do the whole thing technically. Actually, yeah. I think it looks better if it's not all the way, and the rest of it just kind of gets implied. I'll put this in the liner for this space too. Okay. Let's do the hair. Where did you come from? Hold on. What are you part of? Oh, interesting. I don't know how you got there. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Now for the most complicated freaking part. The freaking Trizuka in the background, dude. Oh boy. But here also to give you guys an example of what I was talking about before, I'm gonna draw over this line like this. And then I'm gonna zoom in. And then, oh, look at that. It looks a little jagged compared to how the lines would usually look. You can see there's definitely a difference if you zoom in, even though it looked fine from how outside I was. And this is because of how things work on the drawing pad. It just looks a lot better if you can afford to zoom in. So that's usually what I try to do. I try to enclose as much of the space I can to the drawing so that I can just draw everything as it should be. Now everything comes out looking a lot better. Okay, what are you doing? Why do you constantly do this? It's always when I go like right on the border sometimes. It just turns itself into a different tool entirely. I'm not sure what it is. But it usually happens because I miss the small little window of down here where I need to move the thing over. I would just move it over with the movement thingy, like the panning tool, but it doesn't always work well on here. Actually, I think if I remember, let me try this again after I do this. Yeah, because if I usually press down space, it just follows this. It follows my trackpad a little bit, which works sometimes. But if I try to drag it down from like here, it's just gonna reset my thing here instead. And I don't understand why it does that. But I think if I do it with this, yeah, if I hold space down with my mouse, it'll do it fine. Like I can do it that way. But the problem with that is I have to drop my thing so I can use my mouse and then move around the thing like such. So it kind of defeats the purpose of making it easy. I know none of you probably care, but these are problems I have to deal with. These are things I have to account for and deal with when I am drawing. So sometimes it's better for me just to drag it down by the little sidebars instead, so that I don't have to deal with all that. But I miss being able to just pan around the drawing like usual. Another reason why I gave up on drawing. Yeah, well, it's just because of the tools. I was able to do it fine on Photoshop, but I refuse to pay them any more than I already have. And GIMP is the very much the better tool for it. There's probably actually better drawing tools for me to use if I wanted to invest money into them. I just don't want to invest money into them. Like I think there's a couple that are just like one-time payments, and there's some that are subscriptions. Like I heard Paint Tool Sai was actually a really good tool. Yeah, no, maybe that's something I can try out for maybe even a future stream idea. Because I think there's trials of such programs out there. I could always kind of do a thing where I just go over them live and I show off things about them and see if they are to my liking and to see if there is something I actually want to promote and or put my money into. Because I mean, a GIMP works for what I need it to. It's free, open source, and everything like that. Uh, but I feel like that there are better alternatives for things that will actually help me with my drawing abilities and what I want to do. See, sometimes I like to do it because I know how it works on here, and sometimes it's helpful for getting to certain spots. Mm. Okay. But yeah, I would have to research into something like that though, because I've heard a couple of good things about a couple of different programs. I did a couple of research before when I was looking for Photoshop alternatives, and GIMP just so happened to be the one I landed upon that stuck with me because it was one of the few that was basically just like Photoshop, but it's just a free alternative, and it's like an open source engine that they use. Um, but I remember hearing about a bunch of others. I know Paint Tool Sai was one. I forgot what the other ones were called, but I had like a list of them somewhere that I put down, and I was looking into a couple of them when I was first doing my little transition out of Photoshop. Yeah, unless you are a student learning how to do this stuff and you actually plan to use Photoshop for more than just drawing, I can't recommend it as a digital drawing tool just because of the egregious amounts of money that they ask you to pay to keep that system running. Plus, I know there was a whole thing before about concerns about Adobe and what they do with your data and what they and how they run things. There was a whole thing about it before. It was after that where I was just like, yeah, no, I don't need to pay these guys any more money for a tool I barely use. All right, I had to move it because of. I didn't redo that. I'm actually not sure what I was thinking when I was doing this part. I think it's supposed to be like that. Yeah. There we go. Please stop that. See, again, that's the other reason I don't like it because it forces me to not be able to use any of my icons. What were you a part of? I keep seeing that. Oh, that was the original, yeah, sketch. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's not the Zooka at least. Hello down there. I don't know how you got down there, but I will fix you in a second. Yeah, this is what I love about doing a line art release is all the stuff that I had to do worry about and doing in the sketches. I don't have to worry about in this one. I just have to worry about what's being seen. You're part of this one, right? Oh yeah, you got some guys up there too. Hand line art. Dun, dun, dun. Right, this one. Yeah, actually, kind of do go down that area in that way. This actually looks really cute. Let me just get the little line thing on her pants. Yeah, it's nearing 5, so I'm actually starting to feel like this is a good time to stop. But first, I'm gonna make sure all this looks good. I'll put my signature on it, and then we'll call it a stream. I was really hoping to finish it actually this live stream, but I got hung up on a lot of the details working on it. Okay. And then yeah, the 51 I'm gonna draw on with a that's gonna be drawn on with the coloring. That is all of what I just did. That's not what I wanted to hide. Sketch is what I want to hide. All right. Yeah, look at that shit, dude. Oh my god. She actually looks so good. Not gonna lie, I think I nailed the Splatoon aesthetic pretty good with this. Yeah, I just gotta do. You can see how rough some of the lines are on some of the parts, but I can easily clean those up and make it look better. I think she's looking great though. And again, most of the colors that you would see on her is going to be the same stuff as this. Instead of her being a white, uh, instead of her skin color being purely white, though, it is going to be more of the Inklings or Octolings' uh, regular color. Can I add more along that line? No, I'll have to find a good blue. Actually, I'll probably use the same blue here. I'll use the same blue as the base. I know they have like a thing where it fades from one to the other though, so that'll be an interesting effect to try out too. A Dorito for successful drawing, yay! Yeah, I at least drew it, so that was the good thing to get done on this live stream. At least was the actual drawing of it. So the final product will basically look like this. I don't know if I'll have any more time to work on it tonight, just because I have things going on. But I'm definitely gonna try to finish it very soon. So hopefully you guys can see the full drawing on my regular stuff, on my DA, my X, my Blue Sky, all that good stuff. And like I said, the main idea I'm gonna do first with it is I'm first going to make a cropped version of this where it's just her. So like, actually, hold on, let me see if I can give you guys a good version of how that would look. Yeah, basically just like ignore all of this on the side, but like it would just be like a square photo, and then it would just be her against the white background. Um, I'm thinking about doing that for one, and then signature. I'll do a version at least with that, and then I'll figure out a background I want to do because I have ideas for what I want to do with the background. I have like little paint uh, brushes that I want to do, or splatter brushes that I want to try out, and I think that would kind of fit with the Splatoon vibe. So we'll see how well that goes. Yeah, I've always wanted to do Splatoon fan art. I'm glad I finally was able to try my hand at it. So yeah, for now I'm just gonna put you in the very bottom corner here. There you go.
Who's ready?
Okay, I'm just about done too, anyways. Alrighty. So yeah, like I said, that's actually a really good time to end it because food is now ready and I am hungry. So thank you guys. I'm gonna keep it up on here just so you guys can see a little bit better. But actually, I'm gonna zoom in again one more time just so you can appreciate a little bit better on screen here. But yeah. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching today's live stream. If you'd like to, please like it and subscribe and follow if you see more of this in the future. We're gonna be probably the next time I do a drawing stream is not gonna be this one. It's gonna be something else. Um, I still have to yet to decide what that's going to be, but so we will find out. Um, I think it's whatever I have next to my drawing rotation. I know that, and then I know the next stream we're gonna do in general though is gonna be another tier list where I do video game soundtracks. So look forward to that in the hopefully near future. Probably, I think I might be able to do that Monday actually. Let me make sure about that. Oh yeah, no, I am off Monday, so I can totally do that sometime that day. So Monday, maybe in the afternoon sometime, or even the evening. I'm not sure when people will be on or not. Um, I will do that stream. All right. But this weekend I'm gonna kind of try to relax as much as I can. All right. I will see you guys all in the next one. Stay tuned for more great stuff in the future, and also this finished drawing once I finally get it done. All right. Bye bye now.